Hello, dear Sagittarius. Yes, this one is for you. This is Tarot Lumination with your June 2017 general reading. And that's you, Sagittarius. Now, don't forget, check out your sun, moon, and rising. Smush it all into one kind of comprehensive understanding, and that'll make you hopefully have a better chance of making the most of June, okay? Remember, you're bringing energy into the month with you, and it's leading into the next month. Now, the cards are already pre-shuffled, but I'm going to take it right up to the last minute. And then we're just going to do a really straightforward little journey reading. I like to read from the heart rather than like by the book, so to speak. And I call it like a journey spread. So let's just see where it goes, okay? I'm not going to make hardly any references to the astrology and everything. Because it kind of gets too serious and gets too heavy, and I want to have a more fluid, open approach, if that's okay for you. We might change down the road, but just for now, at least for June right now, I'm just doing it bare bones, stripped down, tarot Lumination style. No reversals, no jumpers, no flyers. I don't have any qualifiers. No, we're not going to use any oracle, angel card or anything like that, okay? Just really basic stuff. And then I'll ask you to like reinterpret the whole thing for yourself, okay? Make the best of it, okay? So here we go. I'm just about done. I'm done. Okay, I'm going to cut now. Cut it for you. Keeping it real here, people. Keeping it real. I hope you had a great May, and you're looking forward to your June. All right, Sagittarius. Let's just do it, okay? No chitter chatter. Just go straight into it. Here's the general vibe for you, okay? And this is kind of where you've been coming from, energy you're bringing in from May and earlier. Here's where things are right now. This is like a ever-present now as it moves through the month for you. And here's where things are already heading. And by this time in the journey, you're already heading into the unknown. And that's just how it is. When you're moving forward, by definition, you're facing the unknown. Even if you have a GPS satellite system and roadmaps and everything organized and planned, you're still facing in the unknown. And in terms of business, you're always facing forward because you have to. Even if you're in the business of research and looking back in time, even if you're an archaeologist, you have to keep looking forward. So, in that understanding, how do you move forward effectively? Okay, what's a good way to handle it? But now that you are moving forward and that stuff is happening and momentum is being generated, what are you attracting to you? Okay, this could be coming at you from way over here. And it may feel like it's coming at you from somewhere that you don't understand, or it might be a feeling like, oh my gosh, this is what I was like manifesting anyway. Either way, it's the energy around you. And this is more like a hope and fear card because of just the emotional content of the journey. Like, oh my God, I hope it works out all right. I hope for this, but I'm also scared of that. So we'll see, because we don't know. It's like when you plan a trip, you hope for the best, but who knows? Like if you're taking a minivan full of kids out for ice cream, and then you have a flat tire on the way. Who knew? Okay? That's all I'm suggesting here. Like when you go into the minivan and everything seems to be working all the time, you don't suddenly turn around to all your kids and say, hey kids, by the way, I hope we don't have a flat tire on the way to the ice cream. You don't do that. You just go anyway. But you allow for possibilities, all right? And this is where it seems to be heading, okay? And I like to think of it as a journey from the heart. I know it's not a very like perfect heart here, but if you could think of it like this, it might help, all right? That's what I'm trying to do anyway. I'll make the best of it, all right? I could draw a little cute picture, but I think we're just going to go for it, all right? So let's have a look at the weather. I like to do this, okay? It's fun. It's kind of like what's outside the front door, dear Sagittarius. And it's not necessarily your energy. It's just like what's out there, okay? and you've got this little King Knight of Pentacles, which from my perspective is a very benevolent card. This is the energy of like a good farmer. This is a well-intended person who understands the energy of you reap what you sow. Is not scared of hard work, and not scared of, delivering, understanding the process of time, and that you have to think and plan and be kind of just like, methodical in how things are happening. And if this is all around you, if this is the weather that's like supporting you through this month, that's very nice. It might give you a feeling like, yeah, we can get her done, man. We can get it done. We're going to do it, and it's going to happen. It's going to work out okay, and it's going to show. We're going to have good stuff to show for it at the end of the month. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's not read too much into that. We might never talk about it again. So what's the vibe? Okay. I think we've already had this card a few times. I even had, I think, one in the same position here. This is the card of transformation. Okay, don't be scared. Okay, look at the scary images like, whoa, the old man is dying. Ah, look, his crown fell off. Look, the little child is begging. The sweet, beautiful, innocent waif is like almost like being crushed, humbled at the thought of the destruction. And here's this like Pope kind of dude, like, please, at least give me a break, man. Please give me a break. I mean, I'm like this guy. I'm the dude, man. And here he is. It's the Grim Reaper's coming in. You say, well, you know what? Nobody gets a free pass here. This is the card of transformation, and whatever has to go down is going down. And that's in order so that the new can be born, okay? Because don't forget, it's always an endless cycle of birth, procreation, and death, birth, procreation, and death. And that's just how life works. That's how trees grow and die. In the end, they create their own fertilizer. So don't be scared of this, because there is light on the horizon, way, way in the distant future, right there. You got it? You see? It's okay. You just have to be willing to go through, cross over, like through the Shadowland, where in the Shadowland, it might be a feeling like, dear Sagittarius, maybe you're going through a culling, like in the words of farming, like maybe some pruning or cutting or slashing or just tidying up the vines. Like if you're growing vines to make wine or something, it's constant pruning, constant attention, cutting away whatever doesn't work. Just cut, 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 cut. This needs to go, this needs to go, this needs to go. Whatever is not working for you, Sagittarius, has to go, and it looks like it's going, whether you want it or not. So try not to take this too personally. Try not to see it as pain and suffering. Try and hopefully see it as an opportunity. In other words, like the removing of obstacles from your happiness, from your bounty, from your chances of bringing in a good harvest. Okay? So let's keep going. All right? Where are you coming from? Okay. It might be, dear Sagittarius, that you have let's just face it, you might have been like just unwilling to face really, really profound issues, and they are coming to the surface right now. And as much as you are resisting, they are still coming to the surface. And the way I look at a reading like this, it's about healing. You got to reveal it to heal it. So if there's a bunch of stuff that is being like mercilessly drawn to the surface, in a way that you wouldn't normally choose to do yourself. Maybe it feels more like fate is like pulling this onto you or pushing you into it in such a way like, oh my God, I'm walking right into the month with this. This is what I've been carrying with me all this time. I've got issues, except that I'm not willing to face them or deal with them. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, so if you're walking into June with this kind of energy, it might be that you've been carrying this for a long time, and it's about time this energy became exposed so we can do something about it. Like perhaps very, very gently, very, very respectfully lift the bindings just a tiny bit and consider the idea of moving into June with the concept of maybe removing some of these slivers that might be damaging your system in some way. Like you might have deep wounds in the heart or the mind or the soul or your body, and they're just like those super super tender points that you don't like to touch. You know they're there, but you don't want to deal with them because the process of revealing them is hard enough, and then the concept of revealing them in order to get healed is even harder. So it's understandable why a lot of people want to keep the bandages on, but you also understand that by keeping yourself bound up with your issues, you become defined by your issues. You become owned by your issues. They own you, and you don't own your life anymore. And how effective is that? I mean, you're literally creating your own blindness by conducting yourself this way. And so a lot of us do it. I know I do to some extent. It's just a question of degree, how much? How much are you doing this? Okay. But you're coming into the month full on with this. So already what I'm feeling is that we got stuff to take care of here, Sagittarius. We got issues. We got issues to handle. I don't know what they are. I guess it's a lot of it is to do with concepts, beliefs, understandings, typical actual Sagittarius energy, higher knowledge, wisdom, seeking greater awareness. And uh, it's going to happen whether you like it or not, because it has to, because that's part of evolution. The good old death card here is very much to do with the energy of transformational evolution. Okay, in other words, whatever has to die off so that the new can be reborn. Okay, that's just how it is. So where are you now, moving into it? Okay, well, this is very encouraging, because this indicates to me that you have a desire to take charge. You really, really would like to be the boss of you and be able to radiate your full, like, inspirational passion, like become the total boss of you, but in a really benevolent way. This is not abusive power. This is like radiant, effective, inspirational firepower. It's like being a really good CEO of a company. It's the energy of being like a boss who is very inspiring. It's just like carrying the energy. Like, my feeling is that, like, perhaps you would like to rise into this where you could actually um, kind of be this regal character with enough stature and ability and courage to wear these robes and conduct yourself with that much respect and integrity that other people get it. So you become like an inspirational leader. It's like one of those rare people where, like, a lot of times, let's just say you become a boss of a company, or you want to become a boss, you want to, like, rise up into your power, your full stature, your full kind of glory, but it's not in an abusive way. You want to end. It's like you're hoping you can turn into the sort of person where people love to work for you, love to work with you, because it's inspiring. Everybody feels like, wow, I'm actually respected and appreciated here. Of course, now we could be talking about how you would like this to happen to you. In other words, you would like to be respected and appreciated for being this, basically like an inspirational leader. I'm not talking about like going on stages and preaching. I'm talking more about just being really, truly, authentically who you are in a way that inspires others. Like, wow, that's so cool. I'd really love to work with you. I'd love to hang out with you, because it's just like really empowering. And so it's kind of like a self-feeding, like a breeder reactor kind of energy. And I feel that this is what you're hoping to be or do or have. And another, if it's the energy of having this, like perhaps moving into an environment where you can work with someone with whom you have great respect and who truly inspires you to become and rise up to your full potential. In other words, it's like almost like the energy of getting a really cool job with a really cool employer, boss, company, something like that. So there's different ways to look at it, Sagittarius, but it's all good, all right? So A lot of change going on here, a lot of sifting and healing that needs to happen in order for this energy to happen in the now. So where are we heading? Where are we heading to make all this happen? Okay, it might be this might be an admission that it's just like it's overwhelming. Okay, maybe you're actually having a tough time getting all this to happen. Maybe you have a lot of aspirations and goals and ambitions and great desires. And the reality is that you can't just make it happen by flipping a switch. It could be that through June you come to an awakening, like, in order for this to happen the way I would like to be now, male or female, it doesn't matter. Yeah, this is the king, but a lot of women would like to feel very empowered and strong and inspired and willing to shine their own light and be very radiant and regal as well, and be highly respected and understood. Okay? And if it means that you have to go through a lot of transformational and picking off obstacles that are not working, then that would make sense. However, moving forward into June, it might just come to sort of like this realization, like, oh my God, this actually, this sounds like a lot of work. This is like, it's almost like I'm already overwhelmed. I'm already overwhelmed coming into May, having to like come to the realization that I have a lot of issues to deal with and I'm not dealing with them. And I'm also coming to a stark awareness that there's no way out of it. It's just like transformation is inevitable. It's happening whether I like it or not. And then you move forward like pumping yourself up, like, yeah, we're going to do this. We can handle it. Okay, it's going to be great. And then stepping forward into like, okay, let's make it happen, people. And then suddenly realizing, oh my God, like it's almost like opening the door to your future and realizing like, oh my God, I thought it was going to be a little smoother and more easy than this. And you might feel it's almost like your spirit is getting broken or challenged to the point of whether you can handle it or not. But please understand, dear Sagittarius, this energy here, this character here, without question, has the ability to continue and endure. Okay? That's not the issue here. You will endure, you will prevail. But it's just like the energy is almost overwhelming, and this is almost like a reality check. In order to move forward and advance through June, it might mean like being very aware that you're at your limits. You're right at your limits, and it might not be so effective to go charging around in the usual Sagittarius super optimistic, we can handle this baby kind of energy. Now, I just want to mention something. I'm just a tiny little bit of astrobabble. Please understand we're coming into June, which is, in theory, is your time of opposition, of polarity, like the Gemini-Sagittarius polarity. So you might feel like, oh, if you're not fully like integrated into the energy of polarity, you might feel like everything is coming to a state of maximum like oppression for you. If you're not fully integrated in the energy of balanced relationship with yourself or others. And in that context, please also understand that Saturn is in heavy retrograde right now in the high 20s. So it could feel as like everything that's happening in your life, in your world, is kind of moving very like at a very painful pace, despite the good aspirations, in such a way that it might feel very burdensome. I don't want to say it's going to be a sucky month and it's going to be like driving through mud in the rain. All I'm suggesting is that please be aware that your natural super firepowered optimism may be getting challenged here, okay? And you might have to dig deeper and work harder and like radiate more and more Sagittarius energy than you would normally have to do in order to just be your good old happy Sagittarius self, okay? So That's kind of just like a heads up. Like, I don't know for a fact because it's your life and you're going to reinterpret this reading anyway for yourself. So let's be optimistic. How are we going to move on with this? Okay, come from the heart, please. You're going to act as if. Okay, act as if, Sagittarius. In other words, be that typical Sag where you are the eternal optimist. You know everything's going to work out. You already know that in advance. But just don't let anybody know that deep down inside, you know there's a lot of stuff that needs to be handled. A lot of transformations going on. A lot of issues need to be dealt with. And despite your natural ebullience, natural radiance and charm and shine and leadership qualities and your inspirational gifts to lead others in a very, very magnanimous way. At this point in time, heading into June, it might feel burdensome to the point where, like, you're pulling out all the stops just to keep going, okay? Just to keep up the optimism. It's understandable. And so, like we often do here at Tarot Illumination, we do the live as if thing where, like, um, you award yourself. And I'm just going to call this out. I'm just going to pretend it's a guy watching this. No, let's just do it as a person. In other words, like, if you can, like, convincingly tell yourself and look in the mirror, and this is what I do in these situations, I call it out. I say, I'm going to say it as a guy, but if you're a girl watching this, a woman watching this, please just substitute the word for woman. You'll see in a moment. I do it kind of like this. Yeah, I get all pumped up. I'm a very lucky man. I'm a very wealthy man. In fact, I'm a very happy man. On top of that, I'm a very blessed man. And then I do it again. I'm a very lucky man. I'm a very wealthy man. I'm a very happy man. I'm a very blessed man. And lo and behold, I start to believe myself. Now just say it. I'm a very lucky woman. If you're a woman, okay? That's all I'm trying to suggest here. Just live as if, and like you own the street when you're walking down the street. Carry yourself as if. I'm not saying being all cocky and arrogant and narcissistic and egomaniacal. All I'm suggesting is just like you walk tall, okay? Face the world and look the world right in the eye like you own it. And it works for you, all in a good way. And you're all in tune with that. And people will start to, like, respect that and believe you and applaud you anyway. It's just like, wow, if Sag can get through all this crap, then the rest of us can. That's awesome. Please tell us, Sag, how do you do that? Wow, so cool. And then you can tell them, like, oh man, it's going to be really tough, but I'm telling you, you can handle it. All you have to do, guess what? Face your issues. Deal with them one by one. And understand it's going to be a challenge, but you can handle it. That's all I'm suggesting here. Like it's like live theater, like where you are inspiring others. Okay, like if you're having a really shitty time, they tell you that it's like sometimes the best thing you can do is help somebody else because it's always easy to find someone else who's having a much crappier time than you are. So anyway, what's coming at you? Kaboom! More wands. Look at this. Wands everywhere. Passion, 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 passion. The passion to transform, Sagittarius. The need to transform and evolve and grow. Handle this karmic energy of the retrograde Saturn, okay? And take the opportunity to do some deep inner transformational work. Address the issues. Get into the self-healing mood. Be an inspiration to yourself. Be an inspirational leader to yourself so that other people actually notice it and they think, oh my God, that's awesome. How do you do that? On the understanding that ahead of you, yeah, okay, it might be, like, one of those epic sandals and swords movies kind of energy where, like, you might feel you're, like, in the middle of this movie and everyone's covered in sweat and hair and dirt and they're wearing big furry clothes and dirty leather sandals and they're trying to charge through mountains and have sword fights with the enemies and stuff, and it's getting tough, man, and famous actors are falling and blood is squirting everywhere. But you know what? You can handle it because you're in the dominant position. Don't worry. It's all going to be fine. Yeah, it might be epic. It might feel as though like, am I ever going to get through this? You people, stand down. I am the authority of my life here, and we're going to make it work, okay? And I understand that I have to go through all this, and I'm doing this, and this might be your own internal battle, Sag. But guess what? You're going to handle it. And it might be that deep down you have invoked this energy to yourself, knowing that you had to face this at some point, and now is the time for battle, and you will prevail. And the battle is coming to you, okay? You're not going to have to go to it. It's coming to you by invocation. Now, dear women, I'm not trying to scare you or intimidate you here with all this like firepower energy. I'm just trying to concentrate on the energy rather than the gender or try and predict the future here. I'm just talking about energy. I'm talking about it hopefully from the heart. And there's a lot of passion and firepower going on here, and it looks like Sagittarius is having to dig deep. So what are the hopes and fears? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, about the truth being revealed. Oh God, it's just like, oh my God, what's going to happen when I actually start battling these issues and I actually start tweezing out each one of these swords one by one by one? It's like, ow, 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 no. Yeah, but you got to do it. And the truth is, the Page of Swords is, there's no harm intended. But one of the things about little Page of Swords energy is that it's almost like the energy of the whistleblower. Like this Page of Swords loves the truth. And it's like truth in the naive sense, like, you know what, this is true. Like when you start to call out your seniors, your elders, and the establishment and the status quo, and you're like a vigilante, you're coming in there and you notice how corrupt everything is, and you're saying, I'm going to rip this shit apart, man. Everything that's wrong in my world out there, it needs to come tumbling down so that we can live in our truth. Well, that can be a little awkward because altars can go tumbling down, okay? And then you can get caught in the rubble and the aftershock, and you can end up getting cut by your own sword. So all I'm suggesting here, with all this firepower and enthusiasm, Sagittarius, to evolve and grow, and then getting into that journey and facing it and dealing with all these buried issues that need to be transformed for healing. We are hoping here that you do it incrementally, gently, one step at a time, okay? And maybe the fear would be that, okay, it is scary to deal with this stuff, but I think you're going to handle it, okay? Because it's like it's inevitable here. There's no way out of it. It's like you're on a transformational journey of healing from within, and it's let's just say it's dramatic. It's like a movie epic quality, okay? And you're hoping that you can deal with it and come to the truth. It's almost like being a vigilante with yourself and finally facing up to the truth, the real truth about who you are. What is the most highly evolved, most inspiring, capable version of you that you can discover and find? And you're hoping to find it by digging up the truth, okay? And I think you're going to be fine in that regard. But where's it all leading? New horizons. Yes. Yes. Look at all this. Look at all this. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Sagittarius, it might be like being on an amazing roller coaster ride for you getting through June. But it looks like as you progress through the month, it'll become more and more apparent that in a very roundabout way, you are creating your destiny in such a way that's actually good for you. And it's starting to unfold, and it's starting to become visible in ways that are quite apparent. Like they say, your ships are coming in. And there's no obstacles here. It's just a consequence of living your life authentically, tuning in and being realistic and honest with yourself about what really needs to be done, and then allowing it to happen. This is what needs to be addressed, and living through the energy of profound transformation. That's the only way to do it. In other words, allow the transformation to occur by allowing the death of what no longer serves you to happen in the most epic cinematic way possible, and you get to the truth, and the truth is revealed, and all the misperceptions, falsehoods, lies, treacheries, betrayals, the misunderstandings, the conditioning from youth, everything that's expired and redundant and obsolete just starts to fall away, and it allows this beautiful little Three of Wands to unfold. Like, oh, well, how nice. Wow. It's just like the movie's over, like the end of the month, and it's like, whew, that was a ride. That was a ride, people. But we made it. Yay. All right, Sagittarius, male, female, younger, older, career, job, relationship, money, houses, twin flame, whatever you want to look into this, you can do that, okay? But from my perspective as your reader here, it's very much about transformational healing and evolution and growth, okay? So please make the most of it. Have a wonderful June, Sag. And again, watch your sun, moon, and rising. Sun, moon, and rising. Okay. Bye-bye, Sag.